So this is the motor I got from the scrapyard there. It turns out it's a 1969. Like I say, it was seized up, but look at the gunge inside the valve spring area there. I've never seen it quite that bad. It's almost like something crystallized in there. Pretty bizarre. So surprisingly, I got all of the bolts out of the crankcase cover. One of them was tight, but it eventually came out. The flywheel, I got it off, but broke one ear off of the recoil starter. Again, just so tight, even using heat. The flywheel's cracked, but I got a bit of a mystery going on here, because as you can see, the piston's sticking up past the block. So that would mean that the rod's broken, because the piston normally can't come any higher than the top of the block. However, if you look in there, you can clearly see the connecting rod, and it looks like it's attached to the crankshaft. So, and it's, you know, holding horizontal, it doesn't flop around. Of course, if it was seized, it wouldn't. So I'm curious what's going on here. That would indicate that the rod broke up like near the piston pin, and they normally don't break there, they break down lower. So like I say, I got a bit of a mystery. Now it's probably going to be harder than heck to get that crankcase cover off, because being seized, I've done my filing and emery cloth job on the crankshaft, as well as putting penetrating oil on it. And then I just start pounding on the thick parts of the casting there, trying to get it apart. I think I'm going to reinstall this, or else I'm going to pound. When I hit, I'll knock slop all over the place here. So anyway, I'll keep dissecting here so we can find out why that piston's sticking out of the block. A bit of a mystery. And it just keeps getting better with this motor. Look at all the rust in the points area. It's crazy. And all that rust had to come off of the condenser and the... That's all there is. Everything else is aluminum. I'd be amazed if I can get that bolt out. There's like nothing left of the head. This is crazy. I haven't been having too much luck pounding on this thing, trying to separate the crankcase cover, so I decided to ventilate the block. I'll chisel and pound that piece out, then I can get penetrating oil in. Tried pounding on both ends of the crankshaft. Connecting rod is broken, that's why the piston's sticking out. I was able to get the rod to move sideways a bit. So I think it's just seized on the bushings on the crank, as well as it could be the camshaft seized ends of it. So we'll keep working on it here and try to get the crankcase cover separated. Well, there, finally got it off. Kept pounding down on it until I got a crack opened up, and then sprayed penetrating oil in, got the camshaft. Started wiggling it sideways too, eventually got the oiler out. Then just kept wiggling it until it came down. But I'm thinking somebody shot this with a 22 or something, because this is the bottom side. You can see there's a bunch of fin. You got the hole. You got fins broke out all the way over there on the exhaust valve guide. So now right here is where the gas tank mounts. So maybe in the process of doing a carb job or something, they broke the gas tank mount off, got ticked off, and then shot the motor. Once I get the conrod out, I'll have a look at it and we'll see what it looks like too. I don't have another explanation why there's, you know, this cooling fin here's broke off. There's a fin broke here. A lot of strange damage to it. Well, I got it apart here. As you can see, the camshaft's pretty rusty. It did not want to come out. Put up a big fight. Crankshaft put up more of a fight. So bad that I had to, it was seized on the top so bad I had to chisel away the bearing and then sand what I could to the outside of the crankshaft and penetrating oil it and then heat it more than once. But anyway, finally got it out, and like I say, the top bearing was very seized. The bottom one, it put up a fight too, but not quite as bad. The connecting rod, it started to rotate. It looks a little bit galled, but not too bad. Same thing here. I can't really tell on the journal, but I've seen a lot worse. So I'm a little bit baffled as to what happened to this motor here. Maybe hopefully you see the end of the crankshaft there, or the connecting rod clearly. It looks like a clean break. So I've never really seen one break up that high. So I'm wondering if maybe it didn't just let the rod go. If you look here, I'll punch that hole in the side there. Right here, this one. And then the other side, you can't see it. Well, punch that one, you can see it from the outside, but I don't know how I got a view of that. I did somehow. Unfortunately, the piston's seized in. You can hopefully see the rod. It's seized. It won't rotate upwards, so I can't get a look at it. And the valve tappets are seized right in there. So, since the block is basically ventilated at this point, not much use for anything, what I think I'll do is cut it off right here, all the way around. Then I'll put it over my vise there and proceed to try to drive the piston out, just to see what all took place with it. Like I say, I'm a little bit baffled. I'm not really convinced that somebody shot the block now. It looks more like it just let the rod go. And like I say, I haven't really seen any that have done that high up on the rod. So very unusual anyway. Like I said I was going to, I cut the end off the crankcase there so that I can pound the piston out from the inside. I got it pretty much out now. It's a good halfway. See all the corrosion in the rings. The way I did that was just like this. Put the fire block up against the side of the piston because it was sticking out. And then I got about, I don't know what this is, 2-inch shaft. I was using a mini sledge, but that was barely moving it. So I had to resort to basically, I don't know what it is, 8-pound sledgehammer. So I guess I can try to film this. Just have to do it with one hand. I don't know if that moved it. I thought once it started moving it'd go easier, but oh yeah, that moved it. Yeah, she bottomed out on the concrete now. So now I got to stack up a second set of 2x4s there and she'll be right out. But you can see the corrosion in the cylinder there. The valve tappets, they are like seized solid. I tried pounding the intake valve down, but it won't even budge either. So, anyways, we'll get her out there and examine the busted connecting rod. Well, the piston came out with one more easy swat. You can see the break in the connecting rod here. It's well, it couldn't be much lower towards the piston pin for sure. That little kiss in the side of the piston, I think that came out when the piston came out. It must have cocked sideways because it wasn't there before. But anyway, so it's kind of unusual. Looking down the cylinder there, you got the big one down at the bottom on this side, and then the other one is opposite down here towards the exhaust valve. So that's funny. That one looks like it, yeah. I don't know what to say. That one almost looks like it broke from the outside in. Somebody could have shot it. I don't know. But the piston, you think if the connecting rod get hit by a bullet, it wouldn't break that way. There'd be a dent from the way the bullet hit it. But if it's rod breakage while the engine was running, the crankshaft looked like it had impacted something, and the flywheel was cracked also. So if that rod broke while the engine was, doing 3600, I could see it maybe smashing holes in it like that. But it's the first one I've personally seen that was broken that close towards the piston. Maybe you folks that work on small engines all the time can have more knowledge about it, have them pull more engines apart. But let me know if you've ever seen a con rod break that close to the piston. There isn't really any indications of it getting run low on oil, so I don't know why the rod would break. Or like I say, if it hit a steel bar in the ground revving that high and bent the blade, what have you. So anyway, just let me know in your comments if you've ever seen a rod break like that. So thanks for your interest, appreciate it. Take care for now.